Welcome to a course on sequence and series. In this lecture, we are going to see root test and problems related to root test. Let us see what the theorem tells us. Here we are given with a series summation an, right? And for which we are finding the ratio of the two terms, that is the general term an and the next term an plus 1, that is, with the help of these two terms, we are forming this ratio an plus 1 upon an. We are finding this and we are taking the absolute value, right? Be it a positive term series or a negative term series, we are taking absolute to make that quantity as a positive quantity. And then we are taking a supremum, okay? We are looking at the supremum and finding the limit, and if the limit is smaller than 1, then the series is going to be a convergent one, right? Without even taking a supremum. Here we have not taken supremum. It means what? Be it supremum or infimum, that has to be bigger than or equals 1, right? In that case, it is going to be divergent, right? And here they have given it is after a certain stage. The choosing of stage is very important in these things, because I have explained that thing in the previous video itself. If you can wish, you just go and recall it. Okay, let us get into the proof of this theorem. Okay, what is given? It is given that in the first part of this theorem, it is given that limit n approaches infinity, supremum of this quantity is less than 1, right? This is some quantity which is smaller than 1. Let us denote that quantity, okay? Let us take this quantity as some alpha. Okay, this is some alpha which is smaller than 1. Then we can always find some beta between this alpha and 1, since alpha and 1 are real quantities. Okay, there exists some beta and a positive integer n, such that what? Such that absolute of an plus 1 upon an is smaller than beta for n bigger than or equals n. Okay, now let us start substituting the values of n. Here this is going to be true after this stage. When I substitute n is big N, what am I going to get? I am going to get an plus 1 upon an, which is smaller than beta. This may also be written as absolute of an plus 1 is less than beta times of an. Okay, now this is true for all the values after the stage n. Therefore, this must be true for an plus 1 as well. So when I substitute in big N plus 1 in the place of n, what am I going to get? I am going to get this quantity, right? So this gives me what? Absolute of an plus 2 is smaller than beta times of absolute of an plus 1. But this quantity is smaller than beta times of absolute of an. When I substitute it, I am going to get what? Beta square into absolute of an, right? When I proceed this way, in any stage, what will I have? an plus p upon an plus p minus 1 is less than beta, and this is going to give me what? Absolute of an plus p is less than beta power. What would be there? Since it was 2, we have 2. Since it was 1, we have 1. So it is going to be beta power p times of absolute of an, right? Now put n plus p as the general n. If you are going to do it, what will be your p? It is small n minus big N. Therefore, what are you going to get? Absolute of an is smaller than beta power n minus n times of absolute of an. This may be written as beta power n times of beta power minus n into absolute of an. Okay, we have this. Now what we actually have, what we have is absolute of an is less than beta power n times of beta power minus n into absolute of an, and this is true for n bigger than or equals n, right? This is what exactly we have, and this tells you what, can we make use of any of the previous theorem that we have learned to say about the convergence of this series? Yes, of course. We may make use of the comparison test. Just look at the test like series as we are having two series, summation an and summation beta power n, right? We know this is convergent since beta value lie between 0 and 1. Okay, there exists some beta. Okay, here we have and 0 less than beta less than 1. Okay, this is how we have found, right? So this is a convergent one, and along with this we have something. Here, what are these things? N is some fixed integer, right? Therefore, this is a fixed positive quantity. This is also some fixed positive quantity. These are constants. Along with this series, you have a constant. Okay, that constant is multiplied with all the terms in the series. That is what it meant. Okay, we know this one converges. This converges to what? Beta upon 1 minus beta. Okay, when you have these things, this together converges to beta upon 1 minus beta times of beta power minus n times of absolute of an. This is the value of convergence. That's it. Okay, this is not important to us as of now because we are interested in checking the convergence of summation an. Okay, since this one is convergent, okay, since this one is convergent, by comparison test we may conclude that the given series converges. Okay. Now we will have to prove the second one. Okay, just like we have proved in the divergence of the given series in root test, we may prove it for the ratio test as well. That is the condition if summation an converges, then what? An approaches 0 as n approaches infinity. This condition will not be satisfied. Right? When this condition is not going to satisfy, it means what? Your summation an diverges. Right? Here I would like to remark few things before getting into problems. That is, in Cauchy's second theorem on limits, right, we have proved something that relates the things that we have seen in the ratio test as well as in the root test. Okay, can we extend the idea to prove one of this using the other? That is, we have separately proved ratio test and root test in this and in the previous videos, right? But proving only one thing, can we extend the idea to the other? That is a good question that anybody can ask ourselves, right? In the Cauchy's second theorem on limit, what we have is that limit n approaches infinity, an to the power 1 upon n is same as that of limit n approaches infinity, an plus 1 upon an, and clearly it was given that these two are going to be equal whenever this limit exists. Either this or this exists, right? Only if the limit exists they are going to be same, right? Here we were talking with the help of what we have spoken about limit n approaches infinity, supremum of absolute of an plus 1 upon absolute of an, and in the previous theorem we have spoken about limit n approaches infinity, supremum of nth root of absolute an, right? We have spoken only about the supremum, right? We have not spoken about the simple limits. Are they different? Of course they are different, right? Whenever this limit, plainly this limit exists, your supremum value as well as the infimum of these things are same. They will be same. Okay. If they are same, then we may say that these two values are same as that of this value. Right. Sometimes supremum and infimum becomes different values, and in those cases, if the supremum value itself is less than 1, then the series is convergent. That is what these two theorems tells you, right? If we are going to work out problems on this, we may simply look at these values. Okay, we will examine these limits. If these limit is existing, then there is no problem at all. If they don't exist, then we will look for the supremum of these values and try to squeeze the convergence from that. Fine. Let us get into the problem that we have seen in the previous video itself. We have examined the convergence, actually not the convergence, we have found the supremum and infimum value of that using root test. Now we will find it using ratio test. The series that we are going to consider is 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 2 square plus 1 upon 3 square, and it goes this way, right? Here we have seen that the general term an is going to be 1 upon 2 power n plus 1 by 2 if n is r, right? And 1 upon 3 power n by 2 if n is even. We have these two things. There we have found the supremum and infimum of the nth root. Here let us do this thing, right? What it is. If the nth term is odd, okay, if the nth term is odd, then I will have this thing 2 power n plus this thing. Okay, so my n plus 1th term will be even. So 1 upon 3 power n plus 1 by 2. Okay, this may be written as 2 upon 3 whole power n plus 1 by 2. This is for the case when n is r. Okay, I have chosen my n to be r. Just a minute, did I write it correctly? So 1 upon. Next, when my n is even, so 1 upon 3 power n by 2, right? And my when n is even means n plus 1 will be r, so it is going to be 1 upon 2 power n plus 2 by 2. In the place of n, we have to substitute n plus 1. This is going to happen. So in this case, what am I going to get? I am going to get 3 upon 2 whole power n by 2, and along with this I will have 1 upon 2. Okay, if n is even. Now let me take the supremum of this value. What is my supremum? Here you may see that we are going to raise the power. Okay, and this is 0.6 something and this is 1.5, and it has to be 1.5 power something, and it has to be multiplied by 1 upon 2. So this quantity is going to be the larger quantity. You forget about this 1 upon 2 just for this sake of comparing. Just look at these values. Okay, whatever may be the power here, you are going to have something extra here, be it b. But this is some quantity which is bigger than 1, and this is some quantity which is smaller than 1, and of course your n will take the values from 1 only, since n runs in the set of natural numbers. Therefore this will be your supremum value. right? And your infimum value is what? Your infimum value is this. So 2 upon 3 whole power n plus 1 upon 2. Right? If you take limit n approaches infinity to these two things, what are you going to get? This approaches infinity since this quantity is bigger than 1. Right? Sorry, here we have 2. And this quantity approaches 0. Right? By ratio test, can you say about the convergence of this series? Of course. Your supremum value is infinity. Here the limit is not existing. That is another thing. Here supremum quantity is infinity, which is bigger than 1. Hence it is divergent. Right? For ratio test gives you that this series is a divergent one. Right? Now let us examine the convergence of the series summation n factorial upon n power n. Okay. Here, what is the general term an? It is n factorial upon n power n. So an plus 1 upon an is going to be what? N plus 1 factorial upon n plus 1 to the power n plus 1, and an is going to be n factorial upon, so it is the denominator to the denominator, hence I am writing it in numerator. Okay, we have like this. So this may be written as n factorial times of n power n, and in the denominator let me write n plus 1 to the power n times of n plus 1 and n factorial. Okay, this n factorial gets cancelled. Right? Now what am I going to do is that here you may split. Either you may split or you may combine this. This is n power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 power n plus 1. So this may be written as n upon n plus 1 to the whole power n plus 1. Right? And this is what? You may take n as a common thing. So n upon n times of 1 plus 1 upon n to the whole power n plus 1. This 2 gets cancelled. Now I am splitting this as 1 plus 1 upon n to the power n times of 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1 upon n. Right? If I take limit n approaches infinity an plus 1 upon an to this, what am I going to get? I am going to get e in this place, and this is going to be 1. So it is 1 upon e times of 1 upon 1. This is 1 upon e. Now we will have to check whether this quantity is smaller than 1 or bigger than 1 or equals 1. We know that e value lies between 2 and 3. Approximately it is 2.7 something. So we have a quantity which is bigger than 1 in the denominator. In the numerator we have 1. Hence it is going to be smaller than 1. Therefore, the given series converges. Right? Thank you for watching.